I got like 46% battery, so it should get me a... What the heck wrong with this thing? Should get me a good while of streaming, but I have a feeling I'm not going to see much more, at least from here. And if that's the case, I'll probably just call it and go home. If I miss something cool, whatever. I don't want to be out here all day. So if you're just tuning into this and the post-recorded, when I was at home charging my phone, I've already done one streaming session. I checked to see how the first one came out. I sound strange. I'm not sure if it's because of the signal strength not being so good or what. We have here in Miami a highway shutdown taking place right next door to my house. It is a Cuban American protest, and now we know exactly why it's going on. They're looking for the U.S. to intervene in what's taking place over in Cuba. They want their freedom, and rightfully so. Not sure if I agree with shutting down the whole expressway to get it, but I'm not Cuban American experiencing what they must be experiencing. I can only imagine. So I won't offer my opinion on that, but I've been hanging out here for quite a few hours. I work from home, heard all the ruckus, heard the helicopters over my house hours ago. Came out here to see what the fuss was, and I've been kind of learning more and more as the hours go on. How you doing? Come on, buddy. Yeah, my dog's always a hoot everywhere. Okay, so still pretty much the same scene as when I left here about a half hour ago. To charge my phone. Looks like nothing really new. So again, I'm not going to keep you all here forever. If I stand here for a few minutes and there's not much to see, we'll end the stream. But I did want to come back and kind of close it out at the very least. But if you didn't see the first stream, this is a total shutdown of 826 Palmetto Expressway here in Miami, which my dog is choking on nothing, which is kind of like the main artery of Miami-Dade County. So this is for those of us who are local. And the reason I'm streaming this is I have a lot of my subscribers are local here in Dade County. This is quite something to see. It's eerie. And it's starting to dry up now, too. And I was here, it was raining. So, and the sky is clearing up. You can see Dadeland off in the distance. Just catching my breath. I don't walk too often, so when I do, I get winded, especially trying to talk at the same time. But you can see completely shut down. This highway normally at this time of day would be bumper-to-bumper traffic. And you'll never see it empty because even at 3 in the morning, there's plenty of cars traveling this road. So that's why I'm here checking it out. You can see, maybe you can see up ahead all the blue lights, but it looks like they're starting to get under control. It was certainly a little more chaotic when I was here earlier. Even the media copter there, thank you, Curtis, appreciate that. Even that media copter looks like it might be leaving. So again, we might be phone. I kind of jumped on the local media outlets to see what they were reporting, and there was quite a few people out in the highway. And again, those of you just tuning in, I did a part 1 earlier. I had to go home, charge my phone a bit. This is a shutdown, the Palmetto Expressway 826. Here in Miami-Dade County, this is like the most important highway of our city. It's usually bustling with cars, especially this time of day. And it was shut down today for a Cuban American protest. And from what I found out when I went home, following the local media, they want the federal government to get and the state government here in Florida to get involved in fighting for their freedom back in Cuba. And again, I'm not here to offer any opinion. Of course, I agree with that. I mean, communism is a terrible thing, and I hope for the best over there in Cuba. They're able to overthrow their corrupt regime. But in terms of offering opinion for shutting down the highway, I hate to give that opinion because I'm not Cuban American. I can't imagine what it feels like to see what's going on back at home, and you want to express your support, and you hope that the United States government will get involved, but that's not for me to give my opinion on, especially when it comes to blocking the highway. But just want to show you guys how crazy this is. I mean, again, those of you who live in Dade County, or maybe you live in Boston or you live in LA, but picture your biggest highway completely empty at rush hour. It's weird to see, especially in person. But when I was here earlier, And if you're all interested, I'll upload some of the footage I took. I didn't really think to I've never live streamed before. I wish I had live streamed the whole time, but I was just taking videos on my phone. It is surreal, Senpai. I agree with you on that. But when I was here earlier, it was this side, southbound's been shut down for hours. Probably shouldn't have brought my dog because he's just yanking on me with the camera here. And you see this one van made it through. That's been a thing for hours now. Occasionally a car gets through, or two or three. I don't know how that happens. It can't be that, you know, they're getting the occasional, well, it can't be that they're getting, I can't imagine how backed up it is on the other line. That's right, news anchor Big Al. Yep, you know. There's a protest in Tampa too. See, I didn't know that. I appreciate that. You see, this guy's a Cuban American right here, or at least someone showing support. He's got the flags on his GMT 800, which is very clean. And so I didn't know there is a pretty sizable Cuban population these days in Tampa. So I don't find that too surprising. But again, the objective of this protest, from what I've heard from the local media, is to get the U.S., both federal and Florida government, state government involved. Adam, I'm not right now, and that's something that, you know, you're going to find on the channel soon. I actually vacated my warehouse like 2 weeks ago. It just, as I'm sure you've heard from your other automotive YouTube channels you watch, it's not a great time to be selling cars. Not to say you can't do it, but you're essentially working twice as hard to make the same profit. And I have other, you know, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Careers that I have. And sometimes I switch on and off. I've done that in the past in my life. I've gone from selling cars to other things and back to selling cars when it makes sense. And right now it just didn't. I could be making more money doing other things, and that's what I did. So I shut down my dealership. I ended the lease. Hey, Big Al's Action News, that's right. Ended the lease on my warehouse. So not selling cars right now, just buying and hoarding for myself. And even that, I'm not doing too much. You can see it's more organized than it was earlier, but you see that cop going up the wrong way, and you got regular traffic coming down this way. It must be weird being down there, the few cars that do make it through. But you got to have at least, because I've been here for hours, and I've seen how many cops have shown up to the scene, at least 60 units, if not more. That's probably more units than most of your towns even have, those of you watching. I've certainly lived in small towns before where you've got maybe 5 or 6, so this is very weird to see. And again, for those of you who might have just tuned in, I'll give a real quick summary. There is a Cuban-American protest here on the Palmetto Expressway in Miami. This is the most important highway in Miami, in my opinion, and many others. And normally at this time of day, it would be bumper to bumper with commuters, but at this point, it's now been completely shut down. If you see off in the distance there, many, many blue lights. There is a protest going on. These Cuban-Americans want the U.S. government to get involved with what's going on in Cuba, overthrowing the communist regime there. I support that 100%. Not sure if I support shutting down the highway to demonstrate that, but again, I said this earlier, I'm not Cuban American. I can't imagine the emotion they feel seeing what's happening in their home country. So I really hate to give my opinion on this at all. You know, maybe if it was some other issue closer to home for me, maybe I would say, you know what, I think they should shut down the highway. So I don't like to give my opinion on stuff like that. I just want to show you guys what's going on. You saw just now another Miami-Dade police officer approaching the scene. But it's definitely a lot quieter than earlier. I wish I had live streamed before. Funny enough, these same people were up here earlier, and they're not even related, the guy in the blue and this cup, but this is looks worse than during the COVID. Yeah, you know, Bastian, this is just, for me as a local here, you know, to see this. And certainly there's been other times where the Palmetto has had little activity because of things like hurricane evacuations and stuff, where they shut down lanes or even, you know, one entire side of the highway. But to see it like this is a first, at least in my lifetime. And it's crazy because this is the busiest highway in Miami, no question. Steve, a picture certainly is worth 1,000 words. I guess I'll hold it steady there, but I've taken lots of pictures, lots of video earlier in the day. It was a lot more interesting before because you had all this northbound traffic getting redirected. Chi-Town, it is the perfect time for a drag race. they're all getting redirected down this, what would normally be an entry ramp onto the highway. They were getting redirected down that onto Bird Road. But a lot of people who thought they knew better kept going straight, ignoring the state trooper that was redirecting them down there, and they got stuck here forever. Now, when I went back to my house like 40 minutes ago to charge my phone, there was still probably 30, 40 cars that were stuck here. Now they've all been completely removed from the highway. At this point, it's just police. So the perspective you're seeing right now, which, through my live stream, you're only going to see it here and maybe in that helicopter up there if that's the local media, but because there's no other civilian vehicles on this road besides those few that have made it through. Now let's walk over here. I haven't shown this from this side of the bridge yet. My dog Coochie, by the way, if none of you have, who's actually, I guess, a Cuban-American dog, because I adopted him when he was just like 3 months old from a Cuban family years ago. So I don't even know how old he is now. I've had him at least 5 years, I think. At least it's not raining. Yeah, Steven, it's been awful. Just constant rain for weeks. I'm sure as a Florida resident, this is the rainy season, but it's been abnormally rainy the past few weeks. It's been, for me with the cars, with the older window seals and stuff, it's a nightmare. I don't like to leave the covers on because the moisture gets trapped and you get rust and pitting on chrome. Okay, so this is an interesting thing to see here. You got an unmarked Malibu, baby, woo! Flying up the wrong way here of this exit ramp, and these two people here, I assume probably involved with the demonstration at some point, walking back home or wherever they're heading. But just even eerier from this position, because you can also see the exit ramp. Just not a car to be seen on a road that normally, even at 3 a.m, you've got hundreds of cars going up and down. This road never sleeps, ever. When we get climate change lockdowns, Bastion, yeah, again, I don't like to get political on my channel, but I'm certainly not in agreement with that kind of politics, lockdowns of any kind for that matter. And certainly with the virus, it was tricky for the federal and local governments to decide what was the best course of action. And those of us who are just lay people can say what we would do. But, when you're in that position, it's really hard to ever make the right decision, right? You're dealing with lives. And so I don't know what I would have done if I had been a politician, but lockdowns, generally being someone who believes in freedom, and you see what the Cubans deal with over in their country and why they're doing this, I never like the government telling me to do anything for that matter, lockdowns or whatever. But even when we had COVID at its highest peak here in Miami, the roads weren't like this. I mean, it just doesn't happen here. You can see this guy. Okay, so we got something to see here. This guy's got a Cuban flag on his nice little Buick. What's that, the Enclave or the Encore? What do the red Solo Cups spell out? I don't know. I guess I'd probably have to either read it backwards or look from the highway. But they've been up there for a while. Has nothing to do with the protest today. But this guy here in his little Ecotech-powered Encore or Enclave or Encore. Probably leaving the demonstration, I have to imagine. My dog's trying to trip me here. What do you think, Cooch? Again, Coochie's Cuban-American here. I got him from a Cuban family when he was just a little baby. So, maybe he's got something to say about this. But someone said, your pup is a cutie. Sorry, I didn't. What did I do? What did I do? Okay, the stream's still going. This is why I don't like to touch the screen. I'm not super technologically advanced. So I thought I ended the stream there. So again, I like to give a periodic update for those tuning in. I'm just live streaming what's taking place here in Miami, right down the street from my house. I work from home, and hours ago at this point, I heard helicopters and sirens, which not super uncommon for me to hear because I live right next to the highway. But when you hear the helicopter for, 30 plus minutes just hovering, something's up. So I came over here. I could tell it was by the highway, based where the car was. Came up on this pedestrian walkway that no one really knows is here. And earlier, this was just an absolute chaotic mess of traffic not knowing where to go. And the reason for that is, if you haven't heard already, a protest shutdown on the highway. Thank you very much, Curtis. And here's a little Tacoma that managed to get through it all. But they still have the highway completely blocked up there. dozens, if not hundreds, of Cuban Americans demanding that the U.S. government get involved in what is going on in Cuba right now, which is the people of Cuba just saying enough is enough with the communist regime and fighting to dismantle it. And I agree with that 100%. And this is what I've been saying as I've been streaming, but I don't know how I feel about shutting down the highway to send a message. But I said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm not Cuban American. I know a lot of my friends who are Cuban American are very emotional about what's going on in their home country right now. So I really can't form an opinion on what's going on here on the highway right now because, you know, yeah, you're not wrong about that. But I hate to give an opinion on what's going on right now because on the highway, because, you know, maybe if this was something, for example, if the government was crushing all classic front-wheel drives, I'd probably be out here on the highway shutting it down myself. So that's the point I'm trying to drive to home. And when I did the first stream earlier, a lot of people were pro the shutdown of the highway, a lot were against it, and they're asking me what I thought. And, you know, I don't want to really give my opinion because it's not really my place to give an opinion. But as a resident who lives right next door to this highway, it certainly is for me to show, appropriate for me to show what's going on here. It's just crazy. You can see cops coming up both ways of this, what's normally an exit ramp, but you got a state trooper exiting and a Miami-Dade police officer entering Chi-Town. That's absolutely true. And let me tell you something. Again, I don't want to get political, but when they did Cash for Clunkers back in, like, whatever that was, 2009, it was right after the recession. I remember that much. Some of the most miserable days of my life, I'd say. I was, you know, just as crazy about the cars I collect back then as I am now, and I was just very upset, you know, when I'd be driving around seeing all the dealer lots loaded up with beautiful examples that I would have bought being crushed. And that's kind of what started my hoarding, but it didn't really get bad until years later. But that definitely was the first trigger, I'd say, that made me start saying, you know what, I better start keeping some of these cars if I ever want to have one someday. Because, you know, for example, my friend Anthony Gaz over at Special Motor Cars, I got a video with him coming out. It was supposed to go up this afternoon and all this went down, but, you know, he loves and sells and collects rear-wheel drive Cadillacs, Fleetwoods and all that. And those cars, for the most part, I mean, certainly we lost a lot of them with Cash for Clunkers, but they're very appreciated right now. And so we don't really worry about those cars disappearing. You know, which ones are left, they're being preserved and cherished and valued. But the kind of cars that I collect, they're really not there yet. So they still get junked all the time in perfect shape. Okay, I'll stop yapping. Take a look. A lot of cops coming up the wrong way on the highway here. Just look at it. I like that. ESV Escalade undercover. Woo! That's right up my alley. Right up my alley. Where's Anthony to see that? We both like the older ones more, but still, that's pretty cool to see. And sorry if I'm not seeing some of your comments. I brought my dog this time, and, you know, I'm like trying to watch him and not trip over the leash and keep the camera focus good here. So if you said something and I didn't comment on it, just type it again, because I definitely want to reply to all your comments, unless it's something I shouldn't reply to. That's kind of the problem with these live videos. But, yeah, for those of you tuning in, if you just joined, I'm trying to make the summary as short as possible, because some of you have heard me say it 500 times. Highway shutdown here in Miami, the biggest highway in Miami. Very eerie to see. I live down the street. I heard it. I came over. I started videoing. And the reason they're doing it is to demand, it's Cuban Americans demanding that the U.S. government help out over in Cuba, where they're trying to overthrow the communist regime. There's your update. Tried to keep it nice and streamlined that time. But this is actually just as cool to see as when I got here hours ago and the highway was just a mess of cars not knowing where to go. This is even crazier. Matter of fact, well, I guess I can just take a screenshot of my screen later, but because I'm afraid to touch any buttons right now. But this would be a great picture right now of both sides just completely empty. I mean, that's when I was here earlier, it wasn't quite like that. You still had a few cars. USM MCE, yeah, you know, Miami Lake's not too far away, although today you're not getting up there, that's for sure. But, yep, this is where I live. And to see the highway like this, I'm sure you can imagine, even when you were living up in Miami Lakes, crazy. You don't ever expect to see it in a city with a population well over 3 million people at rush hour, to see the kind of the main artery, as I've been saying all day, of Miami-Dade County, the Palmetto Expressway, basically like an empty parking lot at 3 in the morning. It's unreal. I figured it meant something like that, but, you know, on the stream here, I don't want to say anything wrong, and but I figured it's something to do with Marines. Thank you for your service. So, again, yikes, I avoid the Palmetto like the plague. Yeah, that's what I've heard, and my girlfriend was caught up in this hours ago when this first started happening, even before the copters and the media or anything, and she was texting me saying, oh man, on Palmetto, heading south. Andrew, I'll just give you a quick recap. The Cuban Americans are doing a protest. They've shut down the highway. It's been, at this point, several hours, and they want the U.S. federal government to get involved with their efforts over in Cuba to overthrow the communist regime. That's what's going on. So this, Andrew, is the biggest highway, not the biggest in terms of size, but I'd say the most heavily used highway in Miami-Dade County, 826. Probably up there at I'd say 836, maybe the only other comparable one, which connects to this, and it's completely shut down both directions because of this protest, which has been going on for several hours. Just for me as a longtime resident, pretty crazy to see. And I live right down the street, so I have access to this pedestrian bridge, which rarely ever gets used. It's probably getting the most use it's gotten in a long time today. So we got another state trooper responding. Merchant Marine. Sorry. Again, the comment bubbles pop up for a second, and I'm also trying to watch my dog and watch what's going on. So I apologize if any of you. Thank you, Curtis. Actually, my second one well, I think you were in the first one today, but I guess you're correct. It's my first day streaming. I'm doing my best. I'll probably start doing this more often. Obviously not reporting the news, but, you know, with the cars and stuff, you guys, when you want updates, instead of having to go crazy with editing and uploading and all that, just throw a live stream up. Chi-Town, it's not humid today at all, which is surprising because look at this guy in the longboard. Again, I would love to be down there doing that, but I would never want to jeopardize my career and get arrested out doing something goofy like that on the expressway. But look at this. Imagine longboarding up an exit ramp on the Palmetto for those of you who live in Dade County. It's hard to even imagine. It really is. It's crazy. And we've got a very unique perspective here because, again, not many people know about this bridge. And certainly good luck trying to get here by car right now. And so it's kind of cool to just show you guys what's going on, the total shutdown. Gee, I did see that. I think it was like last week. Of course, he's doing a little something for the gram there on his phone. Can you blame him? I mean, I'm a longboarder. Well, used to be a longboarder in my younger years. My knees don't allow for that anymore. But, yeah, exactly, Chi-Town. Okay. Sorry, I got bombarded with comments there. It is a huge highway, and to see it like this is just surreal. You can see that one guy just longboarding down it. I'd love to do that as a former longboarder, but you know, you can see a few people are coming up here now doing what I'm doing, and you know, that's what I'm trying to get at. All of us here in town are just, you know, shocked at what's going on and how long it's been going on. This has been going on since like 2 o'clock, and the fact that they haven't been able to get things moving again. And I commented on this earlier, maybe it was in my stream or maybe when I was videoing before I did the stream. Put yourself in the police position on this one. Most of them are Cuban American in this area. You got, you know, your people out here protesting for a cause that hits, you know, home for them, literally. So, you know, kind of puts them in a tough spot. You know, you don't want to look like the very dictatorship they ran from, arresting people for protesting. But we have the anti-riot bill here in Florida, and aside from that, you know, I said this earlier, not all forms of free speech here in the United States are protected. For example, this is the example I used earlier, you can't yell fire and a movie theater. So, a lot of states or courts or whatever would say that you can't shut down an entire interstate to get your message out there. But I feel, again, because most of the police in this area are Cuban American, they kind of have their hands tied, and they don't want to give off the image that they're suppressing speech. I actually saw a clip from one of the local news outlets earlier where one of the cops that was standing by the highway over here on Coral Way, a group of Cuban Americans asked, can we go on the highway? He just waved him right in. So they're basically allowing it to happen. I'm not sure. Only in Dade right here. Get this guy on a friggin' dirt bike coming across the pedestrian bridge. Dirt bikes, even though we don't have much dirt here in Dade County, they certainly are a popular commodity with some people who don't like to obey traffic laws. You'll see them doing wheelies on public roads and everything. It's a problem in many cities, but, well, to some people a problem. Certainly I it's a little obnoxious when I'm trying to relax in my house. I hear them blowing down the road late at night, but yeah, that's Dade County for you. Dirt bikes on overpass bridges. So another Miami-Dade cop. He's not really leaving in a hurry. That's kind of all we're seeing at this point. Heed, you're absolutely correct. But, again, there are constitutionally recognized limits on free speech. This, I don't believe, is one that's established. In Florida, it is with the anti-riot bill, if this would be classified as a riot by the local government, which, again, I don't think they're going to do that because with the large Cuban population here in Miami-Dade, I would upset a lot of people. Curtis, I'm glad we're getting some car stuff in here, too. Favorite car I have? That's a tough one, man. I've got quite a few favorites. Off the top of my head, probably my Fiero. And again, I don't have like a number one favorite. I have maybe like 6 favorites, and that's one of them for sure. The only reason I haven't really driven it in the past few years is I had it in the back of my shop, and to get it out would be an absolute nightmare. Fiero's up there, Alante's up there, my Bullet Mustang, which I've had since it was basically new. 88 Cavalier, they wanted $7K. Well, you know what, man? The Radwood era cars, they're coming up in price, and I'm kind of glad because it'll kind of prevent me from buying too many more. I'm already at my limit at this point in terms of space. So trust me, this price increase situation on the Radwood market, I don't mind it. It's a shutdown to stop people going to protest. Mark, no, I think again, the protesters shut down. Jeez, I think people must be watching my stream because I've been up here alone for hours. And now, everybody and their mother's coming here. But I think, obviously they're just trying to divert traffic off the highway because you're not going to get through this. There's so many people. This isn't like one of those human chains of 12 people. You see the videos sometimes. There are like over 100 people at least up there. They were up there blocking off the highway. Again, they're trying to send the message that the federal government needs to get involved with what's going on in Cuba to send aid and help overthrow the communist regime. And this was the method they chose to demonstrate that. What's the deal with the burnt car you towed from the West Coast? I towed it again when I got rid of my warehouse a couple weeks ago. I towed it, whatever it is, a half a mile to my house. And it's just sitting there right now. I mean, with how many cars I have to prioritize things, and that car is kind of at the bottom of the list. Good point of observation, not trespassing. Exactly. Again, this is, as soon as I realized something was happening in the Palmetto, I knew that, being that I live over here, I had a unique point of observation, which you can only get to this bridge if you're in my neighborhood. And my neighborhood's kind of like there's not many ways in and out. So you really would have to know that there's an entrance to this bridge. And I'm sure all these people live in the area because what happened to our dirt bike friend? I guess he gave up. But, this is a unique vantage point. So protesters blocked the highway. Yeah, Mark, that's what's going on. We got some cars coming now, though. So I wonder if anything has changed. Sorry to those of you who have missed your comments. Just keep sending them again and again until I see them. I just commented on that average car guy, and I'm not saying that in a rude way at all. Thank you for the question. But the car caught on fire, and I got it home, and I really haven't touched it since. That's kind of the long and short of it. I agree, Greg, and I made that comment earlier when I wasn't live streaming and just filming. That's certainly a negative consequence of these highway shutdowns, is that emergency vehicles can't get through. When we've seen examples in the past, I even believe here in Miami, the only other highway shutdown in recent times I can think of was I-95 last year with some of the more politically motivated protests that were going on. And I believe an ambulance was unable to get to its destination and somebody perished from that. I could be missing a couple details, or maybe no one died or whatever it was, but an ambulance was unable to get through. So yeah, there was a highway shutdown here last year, but it was on I-95 in downtown Miami, which is about half the lanes you see here. And again, at that point, you're only preventing people from getting to downtown. This highway you see here, 826, is, I've said it so many times, some of you are probably taking shots every time I say it, but it's the best way to describe it. This is the central artery of Miami-Dade County. 826 connects everything. This highway is like the essence of Miami. If you live and work in this city, you need to travel this road all the time. So to see it like this is just the weirdest thing ever. And that's why I'm here. But I've been here for hours. I filmed without live streaming before. Farther down from your red cups. Okay, a lot of people have asked me what that spells. I guess, I just don't want to get these people on my stream. I mean, I'm in public, I can, but some people, don't like it. Let me see if I can figure out what that says. I think she's trying to figure it out too, actually. But P-A-T-R, kind of sloppy writing, to be honest. P-A-T-R-I, oh, okay. I'm gonna sound pretty white saying this, but it's Patria Vida, which has something to do with the movement. So it does have to do with the movement. I thought it was something that had been there before. It's got to do with what's going on in Cuba right now. They're fighting for freedom over there from the communist regime. That's what that is. So, I thought those cups had been up there for a couple of weeks, but it was probably something else before. Getting really quiet out here. The copters have left. That's the national motto of Cuba. Okay, well, geez, you for it being the national motto, they sure don't live it over there. Again, I really hope they're able to overthrow their government over there, and that's caused millions of Cubans to migrate to Miami over the years. My family's had a presence in Miami since the 40s, so we've seen it all. What they went through over there what they go through over there is terrible. So I'm all in favor of what they're doing back in Cuba. As I've said a few times, as for shutting down the highway here in Miami, I don't know if you're really helping with your message there, but again, I can't put myself in their shoes, the Cuban Americans that are doing this, so that's why I just choose not to really have an opinion on it. But, all right, what do we got going on? I hear sirens. Get another state cop. How many Cubans in Florida? I couldn't even tell you. Quite a few. Quite a few. Sirens from all directions. But you can see we've got a little crowd up here now. People are figuring out, Big Al's secret spot. Another state cop coming up the wrong way here on this, what normally is an exit ramp. And I hear cops coming this way, too. I mean, look at, woo, close call there. Whoa, he's flooring it, man. Miami-Dade in that Charger. I apologize there's not more to see, but the thing is, I've been here for hours, and every time I thought it was over, and I shut the camera off, something interesting happened. So at this point, I've kind of accepted I'm going to be here for a while. And I was actually intending on going up to West Palm Beach today, to Palm County, and I was going to go pick up some stuff I needed up there for my house. Someone was selling on offer up, but that's not going to happen today. So that was kind of my plan for the afternoon into the evening. So now I don't have any plans, so I can just sit out here and kind of BS around. Yeah, the protest slogan, Chi-Town, that's what I thought it was. But again, I'm no expert on Cuba by any means. Nobody's going anywhere today. I'm wondering what my friend Joe Perez, if he's on this stream. He was on the first one of my subscribers and good friends who lives here in Miami-Dade, if he managed to get home. Bring your lawn chair and cold drinks. I should have. I went home to charge my phone, and I wanted to get back here quick enough in case I was missing anything. I didn't really think of it. Just grabbed my dog. But, I mean, just take a look at this. I said this before, picture, if you don't live in Dade County, picture, even if you live out in the country, whatever the closest city is to you, and then picture the major interstate in that city. My family is Italian, yes. Yeah, my family is originally from Italy. But picture your city looking like this. It's crazy. And you can see we got two more people on the shoulder on the southbound side. I don't know, maybe they're waiting for that tow truck that's coming toward them. I feel like this is going to be resolved shortly because I'm seeing a lot of cops leaving. And again, a tow truck. Who farted? Not me. All right, now we got a fire truck coming. There was an ambulance like an hour and a half ago. Oh yeah, I still have the Escalade. You know, it does kind of look like, I don't want to say a war, but I mean, when you see a major interstate like this, it gives you a weird feeling because it's not supposed to look like this. It's kind of like a liminal feeling. It's weird, you know, if that makes any sense at all. Wow, someone's coming flying, the state cop. And more people are coming up. And my dog, as usual, tangling me up in the leash. So that tow truck, interesting. I wonder, he's whistling, he's waving. We hear you, man. Anyone get hurt? I don't know. That's the thing. I can't really check the news and stream at the same time. You guys will have to tell me. When I went home to charge my phone, I checked on what's going on. You're probably right about that. But I checked on what was going on, and that's when I was able to figure out exactly what the purpose of the protest was. I had been hearing several theories earlier, but the actual reason for this protest is they want to get the federal government's attention. Zoom in. Can I? Oh, I can. Wow, see, I'm learning something new. I don't know if that helps. You see all those white blocks kind of on the left side? That's all cruisers. You got at least 20 lined up there on the far left. Have I been to Italy? No, I'm actually a Italian citizen because my grandparents came over here from Italy, and that gets passed down generationally if you apply for it. So I could go very easily, but I'm like a diehard American. You guys know me. I like big American cars and eating a lot of food. I'm trying to show my stomach there, but I have to zoom it out to show all that. So I really don't have that much interest in going to Italy, to be honest. Which part of Italy? They're Sicilian. My family's Sicilian. I know that much. Again, I've never been that interested in the Italian heritage because, you know, I'm American as far as I'm concerned. If I ever owned a G-body, yeah, at some point, I think I've had a couple Cutlasses and stuff, you know, way back when I was a teenager when they were still pretty cheap. I used to, like, you know, unlike now, me hoarding cars, used to just sell back then. So I've probably had a lot of cars I forgot about. Well, Chi-Town, I'm adopted. That's why. I was an orphan child, so I don't know what I'm actually in terms of my, you know, what I really am. But I was raised by Italians. But I have, you know, bright blue eyes and blonde hair. You're absolutely right. You can see there a state trooper arriving to the scene. Hope you guys aren't too bored of this. Again, I hate to leave because every time I start to walk toward that ramp, at least earlier today when I wasn't streaming, something else interesting would happen and I'd come running right back. How's the New Hampshire Silverado doing? It's going. I mean, it's definitely rustier being parked in my backyard in the moist ground, but it still works. I use it at least probably once a month. Congrats on winning the Euro Soccer. So I didn't even know that. I'm like, again, I'm just very detached from my Italian heritage, other than the fact that I kind of talk with my hands all the time, which is hard. I'm streaming, right? I can't move the camera around too much. My dog's got my other hand, so my body doesn't know what to do. I'm like moving my shoulders to talk. You know, the old Italian flailing arms. I'm sure you've all heard that before. That's why oh, okay, this is the kid I was talking to earlier. He said he was going to bring his drone out here. He's going to get some real good footage here. Yeah, Mike, you guys are. I'm usually a pretty private person, but, you know, I guess today I'm feeling a little chatty. So let's see here. Again, if you're just tuning in, I haven't given an update in a while on what the heck is going on here. You're probably just saying, what are we looking at our empty road for? I'm here in Miami, my home, obviously. This is the Palmetto Expressway, which is, I'm going to say it again, the central artery of Miami-Dade County, like the most like important highway system running through Miami, kind of connects this entire city to, and it's a very big territory, Miami-Dade. I mean, it's, you know, the suburbs of Miami-Dade just go on and on and on, essentially to the Florida Keys and all the way up to Fort Lauderdale. So this highway brings it all together. And there is a protest taking place just up ahead there where all the blue lights are. And it is Cuban Americans who are trying to send a message to the federal government of the United States to get involved with their efforts down in Cuba to overthrow the communist regime. And I will, you know, the one opinion I will give of all this is I absolutely agree with that. You know, communism is a terrible thing. And, you know, I hope they're successful in their efforts. But as I've said several times now, to shut down a highway here in the United States, I don't know if that really is in the best interest of their efforts, but I can't stress it enough. I've said this several times as well. I'm not Cuban American. I can't imagine the emotion that a lot of Cuban Americans are feeling. I've been hearing from my own friends who are Cuban American. Most of my friends are. And, you know, this is very emotional for them. I'm not talking about the highway closing, but what's going on in Cuba. And so I think you're seeing that emotion hit the street today. So certainly if I was in their shoes, maybe I'd feel differently about what they're doing here on the highway. But for the rest of us, I mean, it's definitely, well, not for me because I work from home, but for commuters today, this is a nightmare. And this is what I was trying to get at when I started blabbing about what's going on here. This highway moves. It's got to be, Joe Perez just texted me. I guess Joe's not watching the stream. Joe, if you watch this later, it is closed. I would text you back, but I'm afraid I'm going to close the stream. Putting pressure on the public. No, again, it's certainly, Bastion, that certainly could be what comes of this. You know, I'm just giving my opinion as a non-Cuban American. This is just, you know, because there's no real emotion behind this for me. All I see is the biggest highway in Miami-Dade being a ghost town, which is something you don't see ever, you know. But you can see some people from my neighborhood have joined us up here on the bridge, and that's kind of why I'm streaming. We've got a unique perspective here. Next to my neighborhood, there is this pedestrian bridge that goes over the Palmetto. It's the only pedestrian bridge that goes over the Palmetto, so you get a very unique perspective when things happen on the highway, be it a car accident or whatever. But this is definitely a first to see it completely shut down like this. You can just see some cop cars and stuff moving around. Some are saying food and medicine are they're always in short supply over there in Cuba. I mean, that's what communism does. You know, people in Cuba, there's a reason so many Cubans over the years, probably which most of these people here are Cuban, have poured into Miami-Dade County and all of Florida. You know, they're trying to get away from that awful life they have to live over there. So you got to feel for them. You know what I mean? We're blessed to be free here. Well, we're still pretty free, but obviously certain freedoms, you know, we see challenged in our country over time. But compared to the rest of the world, I'd say we're pretty blessed here in the United States, even if we're all overweight and, you know, whatever else snarky commentary some out of the country people may make about us, and maybe some of it's warranted. But again, for Cuban Americans, America has been a place of refuge, or Cubans, I should say, where they, you know, if they're able to get here, it's a 90-mile journey, and they come here on boats that look like I made them, you know, barely even a thing to call a boat, oil barrels with pallets strapped to them, with little Hyundai engines or something, just to get here. And they'll risk their lives. That's how bad they have it over there in Cuba. So, again, you got to kind of feel for them. But this is what has resulted from their emotions today, a highway shutdown. And it's been kind of inactive, the scene, since I got back here. We're approaching 45 minutes. I don't think we're going to see much more. I'll probably wrap this up in a little bit. But I'm also enjoying just chatting with you guys. So, you know, it's fine for me. Certainly, if any of you are bored, hop off the stream, you know. I don't blame you one bit. I would. But for those of you in Dade County, Chi-Town, yeah, that's an interesting point. To that, I would say we're definitely pretty full here in Miami-Dade County for anybody who wants to come here. A lot of New Yorkers have been moving here this year and stuff. We're full. That's what I'll say as a resident of Miami-Dade County. We're definitely full. So hopefully nobody else comes here. It would be a beautiful thing if they're able to come back over in Cuba and make the best of their country. And Cuba, when Havana was Habana, it was quite an advanced place. And it would be a beautiful thing if they were able to restore it to what it once was. And, because again, we're full here. But, yeah, a lot of Latas over there and Bel Airs and stuff. Again, I have a lot of Cuban friends, a lot of which still have a lot of family back in Cuba. And I've heard it all, believe me. You got to feel for them. I can only imagine what it's like to live. Actually, one of my good car friends is a 70-something-year-old gentleman who was one of the Peter Pan kids that came here in the early 60s. And, the absolute travesties he witnessed, the promises that Castro, that whole administration made to the people, and, then what it actually was. And the fact that his parents sent him over here, basically to a strange land. Both his parents were killed. It's, for those of us who are born and raised here in the U.S., it's hard to imagine. So, again, you got to feel for the emotion that's out here today. But, come on, buddy. Anyway, I'm rambling. But let me catch my breath for a second. I've never done a live stream, let alone one for almost an hour. So I'm I'm all talked out at this point. But you can see we got, looks like an unmarked, Taurus heading south here. So things have definitely calmed down. Even the helicopters that left, I'm kind of wondering if they've cleared the scene. Is my girlfriend Cuban American? She's not Cuban American. She's actually Colombian. And so she was stuck in this traffic earlier, and she was pretty frustrated, to say the least, because for her there really isn't any emotional significance to what's going on. She just wanted to get to work. So I was working from home, Ben. It was an adjustment period at first. It was hard to keep focused, and now that I've kind of gotten the hang of it, I love it. I love working from home. I have 4 cats and dogs to be able to spend all day with them, because usually now after work, now that I'm not really in the car business anymore, I can mess with my cars for fun instead of working. See, you got one guy that made it through the crack here, a little Cuban flag on that Yaris. It must be so weird driving down the Palmetto as the only car on the road right now. I would be, like some of you said, I'd be doing drag racing or burnouts or whatever. Anyway, I got off on a tangent there again. I don't know what I was getting at, but just, police going back and forth at this point. Occasional car gets through. I'm kind of waiting and hoping to see when they clear the scene here and open the highway back up. It'd be really cool to all of a sudden see the influx of cars coming from one or both directions. Mexican Spec says, I will contact you about cars in Mexico. Sorry, see. Try to read the comments. I click on them too late, and it ends up putting up this window. So I'm sorry I didn't see your whole comment, Mexican Spec, but definitely send that my way. Not doing any burnouts in a Yaris. Yeah, you're probably right about that, but the road is wet, so I guess if you really hammered it and you had a set of bald tires, maybe you could spin some rubber. Got another undercover Taurus going pretty fast there. It's probably the fastest a car has ever traveled on the Palmetto, because usually you're in traffic. And so it's weird because you think that it's calming down and, cops come flying in. But someone commented earlier a pretty valid point that they're probably just, they don't have to speed right now. They just, who wouldn't be tempted to? You get the whole open highway here. But the sirens have calmed down. The helicopters had left. I think they have this under control. I'd love to go see on foot, but I fear any consequences of that decision. I'm going to zoom in again. I'm glad someone told me to zoom in because I didn't realize I could. Oh, cool. I opened up the comments by accident, but now they're in the way. All right, whatever. You see all the cop cars lined up there? They're kind of almost like angle parked. There's at least 20 of them. And then not to mention the ones that are lit up blue scattered about the expressway there. So all right, we got some sirens coming now, but so weird to see. Plus, there's a bunch of like civilian type vehicles in the center median parked. I'm guessing those are probably police and other type of responders that showed up just probably off duty in their civilian vehicles. But just I'll recap. It's been a long time since I have. Miami-Dade, 826. I'm getting tired of saying it, but I got to do it, I guess, right? Miami-Dade, 826, Palmetto Expressway shut down for a protest. Cuban Americans sending their message to the federal government to get involved in the overthrowing of the communist regime back in Cuba. And this has been going on since early this afternoon. And for hours, traffic was just trying to get off the highway. Where you see all those blue lights is where the protest is taking place. You have hundreds of Cuban Americans, at least at one point, that were out on the highway blocking the flow of traffic. And so I've been here for hours. I wasn't streaming that part, unfortunately, but vehicles were, trying to get off the highway any way they could. It was a total mess. It was chaotic. There was only one state trooper directing traffic. So it was pretty neat to see. This is not as interesting, but again, I'm kind of waiting to see if anything will happen. And the reason, do you know if it's been a peaceful protest? As far as I know, again, I'm not really in tune with what's going on with the media. I did check when I ran home to charge my phone earlier. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch to my left hand here. My right arm is like numb, no circulation holding it up. So if the camera works a little lousier, I apologize. I'm right-handed. But I don't know if there's been any violence. I have seen a couple of ambulances over the past few hours, but I mean, that could be from anything. So, okay, let's see here, trying to get this back. And I guess I have to use my right hand. I can't do the left. And you can see right here, someone had me read this message earlier, and it is Patria e Vida, which means something and life. It's something to do with freedom. Okay, we've got a motorcycle cop here, kind of hauling tail through here. It's just so weird to see. You see this right now? Look at the highway. Dehydration. It could have been. It was pretty cool today, though. I'm someone that needs to drink a lot of water, and I haven't had anything to drink in hours, and I'm doing fine because the sun. It's been overcast and cool for Miami-Dade this time of year. So. Now, one comment I'll make, just to kind of keep the conversation flowing here, that I found interesting is I'm wondering why they chose Coral Way. And those of you who know Miami-Dade County, most of the Cubans, kind of like their zone of Miami, I don't know if I should make this comment on this video. There's nothing wrong with what I'm saying. It's just reality. Miami's kind of naturally segregated. It's always been that way. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just... There's certain neighborhoods for certain ethnicities or cultures. That's always been the way it's been, and everybody's kind of cool with it. And there's plenty of mixing in between. For example, I live over here, and my neighborhood has plenty of Cubans, plenty of whites. I mean, it's, Miami's just weird like that. Ask anybody from Miami. You go to any other city, you don't see that nearly as much. But Tamiami Trail, which is probably not even a mile north of Coral Way, becomes Cayocho when you start heading east toward downtown. And that's like the Cuban Mecca of Miami. So, and usually when they do any type of demonstrations, the Cubans, or they celebrate something, that's where they do it. Is that my friend Merritt? No, I thought it was Merritt with the GMT 900. So Cayocho is always where they do that kind of stuff. So I'm surprised they chose Coral Way. Unless maybe that was the easiest point of access to get on the highway. So I've been wondering that all day, because Cayocho is always, even like, you go back 2 days ago, I think when the protests started over in Cuba, there was people out in the streets celebrating on Cayocho. That's where it happens, not around here. So it's weird that they chose Coral Way, and certainly doing this demonstration on Tamiami Trail on Cayocho would cause even more attention and chaos, I would say, because that really is a much busier street than Coral Way, and you've got a lot more highway traffic up that way. So sorry, I didn't see that comment. Shutting down 826 might the most affect most of my residents. Absolutely, Chi-Town. If you were to pick a highway to cause chaos, and again, please don't take this as an opinion for or against what's going on, but I'm just saying, if you want to pick a highway to mess with the population of Miami-Dade County to kind of put everything on stop, this is the one. And even specifically right around here, I'd say from West Flagler to Bird Road. This is really where it gets the busiest, the Palmetto. So this is the place to pick if you want to cause some chaos, for sure, shutting down the roads. I mean, a city of over 3 million people, basically pressing the pause button on everybody's commute and whatever else they're trying to do. I mean, this is how you do it. That's why I live in this area, because I always love the ability to get everywhere within 20 minutes or less. So it's just totally nuts to see the Palmetto like this. I can't say that enough. Where earlier today it was just the southbound side shut down, and I've certainly seen that before for an accident, a bad car accident, but to see both lanes of traffic both ways, you see this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is it, 6-lane highway on each side. This is a big highway. To see it like this in my home city is just crazy. Beautiful sunset, by the way. We're looking west, obviously, toward Westchester. Sorry, the camera work's gonna be a little crappy for a minute. You know what? I'll put the dog leash in my right hand. I've got to put my arm down, let the blood flow through it. It's like turning white. I'm right-handed, so using my left arm, it's not very stable. So yeah, wow, this is going. All right, we got another state cop coming on. I never thought I'd do this long of a stream, never mind 2 of them. So I apologize if the focus of this has just gone off the rails. Just a quick reminder, Cuban-American protest here on the Palmetto Expressway in Miami, shutting down the main, I'm not going to say the artery this time, the kind of like the most important highway in Miami-Dade. Certainly a sight to see. Police kind of have their hands tied. They're just allowing it to go on. It's been going on now for several hours. And it's just put the entire city on a standstill, essentially. I mean, people are being redirected and detoured, obviously, but there's going to be people getting home very late tonight. I can tell you that much. Very late. And I mentioned earlier I was supposed to go up to West Palm Beach today. Certainly glad that I didn't, because I would probably be up there until midnight at this rate if I tried to come home. Or at least as soon as I hit Dade County, I would have been stuck. I guess since not much has changed in the scene here, let's go take a look at this sunset for a minute. My dog is driving me crazy. Coochie, come on. Jeez. His leash is like binding up. How you doing? This dog will be a puppy for the rest of his life. He's like 6 years old. He's just as crazy as he was when I got him. Hey. Wow. You know what, Coochie, for the love of God, you know what it is, people's dogs? Yeah. He is bored. I don't blame him, to be honest. I'm sure he wants to go for a walk, but better than leaving him in the house. Look at that Astro van, huh? Conversion van, no tag. I know exactly where that is, to get there. I might go leave a note on that thing. Definitely don't need it, but whenever I see no tag, that's like a warm welcome to leave a note. What else do we see down here? This is Westchester you're looking at right now. And this bridge connects my neighborhood to Westchester, Coral Terrace, across the street. And that's why we're able to get this very unique view of what's going on, because I'm sure traffic is not flowing too well all around here. But, since I live in walking distance of this bridge, I was able to come over here and get this unique perspective of what's going on. See another state trooper approaching the scene. Helicopter came back. This is what I mean. Every time I want to leave, I'm just waiting for something to happen. And I'm not saying I want something bad to happen, but you can't help but want to be the witness of what's going on. I guess I'm being a little bit of a nosy body, but hey, it's my city. Let me see if I can tie the dog up here, because he's driving me nuts. No, his leash, I think the button broke that locks it. Let me see. Some of you are not going to like that comment, tie the dog up, but I'm going to give him enough slack that he can run around a little bit. Cooch, come on, bud. Hope you're getting you're got to be there for the action, just not in the middle of it. Yeah, me and one of my best friends, Merritt, we're both, kind of longtime Dade County people. And, whenever something's going on, we want to be the first to see it and know about it. And I've been on the news several times because of that. I'm always showing up, either he, I, or both, at scenes as soon as they happen. He's one of those police scanner listeners and, EMS scanner listeners. So I always know what's going on right away. And it's kind of, today I heard the commotion from my house down the street, and I started texting him on the way. He's like, gave me the rundown right away, like protests, blocking the highway, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure if he hadn't been working, he would have been here too. What a beautiful sunset. I think that's more interesting at this point than the empty highway. I can't believe 40 of you. 826 is stopped from Pinecrest all the way up to Virginia Gardens. Wow. And as I was saying before, Virginia Gardens, I mean, we're talking like way up. Pinecrest is where this road dumps off at, not too far from here. You can see Dadeland off in the distance there with those couple of high rises, and that's where Palmetto dumps onto US 1. What a beautiful sunset. Beautiful sunset. Being that I live in South Florida, there's no such thing as a hill, so to get a view like this is beautiful. Can't believe 39 of you are still watching this. God bless you, I guess, for watching my terrible stream. Dead stop from US 1 intersection at 948. 948, I'm trying to think of what road that is. But look at that sunset. You're absolutely right about that, Heed. If I'm saying that correctly. It's amazing. We always joke here in Miami, Cuban engineering is something to be impressed with, because for how little they have back in Cuba, they can really do some incredible things. Just some of the rafts they build to get here with like car engines and oil barrels and stuff. They're pretty smart people. It's a shame the situation they have back home in Cuba, and the ones that have managed to get here over the years, a lot of them have been very successful with their skill sets that they developed to survive in Cuba. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. Again, I'm kind of being like the news, funny enough, in that I'm standing here and filming basically nothing. That's what they'll do. They'll report live from the scene when it's still breaking and they have no idea what's going on, because not going to leave till they hear from the top wings of the U.S. government. Wow. So this could be going on for a long time, and I'm definitely not going to stay here all night, especially because I don't have that great of a view anymore. But I'll probably stay till it gets dark, which, we're well on our way there. Plus the sunset's so beautiful. I want to enjoy it, I guess. I think we'll go back over the sunset here. My dog is fine, for those of you wondering. He's just vibing there. Well, now there's some people on bikes coming, so let me stay with him. I don't want him to get ran over. Come on, bud. Come over here. You are not like the news, not showing your... Yeah, well, I'm trying not to. I think I've spilled a little bit of opinion here and there, but certainly I think the opinion that what Cuban people have gone through over in Cuba for the past 60 years, I think most people would agree that it's despicable and communism doesn't work. I'll say that much. I'm from Denmark. I don't feel very safe myself. Lots of crime. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's funny you say. I believe there's some Scandinavian in me. Someone was asking me about my heritage earlier. So, maybe we may. Who knows? We could be cousins or something. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So that's why I'm filming. If you don't know why it's empty, it's because of a protest up ahead. Cuban Americans demanding that the U.S. government get involved with overthrowing the communist regime back in Cuba. If you're not familiar with Miami, there's a pretty high Cuban population here, most being refugees from Cuba. And obviously they've had children, we know, second generation. But to see 826 this way, which is I'm going to use my term, the main artery of Miami-Dade County, it's very surreal. It's very eerie. I've seen one side of it shut down in the past for bad accidents or hurricane evacuations, but to see the whole highway, at least in my view from where I am, shut down, it's like something out of a movie. And I've even seen, some of us have seen, those of you who have been with the stream now for a while, we're over an hour at this point. There's a guy longboarding down the highway. There's been all sorts of silly stuff going on. So you can see now we got police more arriving on the scene. So I'm not sure what is developed over there. Now, one thing I find interesting, and again, I'm not giving any opinion here, trying not to at least, but recently our governor here in Florida signed into law an anti-rioting bill, which was specifically designed to prevent highway shutdowns like this from happening. And I've made the comment earlier, and I think this is a fair thing to say, I think The governor, because a lot of his voters, again, this is not political whatsoever, but a lot of his voters were Cuban Americans. And also with the police department that's on the scene right now, a lot of those police officers are Cuban American. And what do Cuban Americans, for the most part, hate? They hate suppression of free speech and communism and anything similar to that. And certainly you have a protest going on here, and if the cops just started rounding everybody up and throwing them in jail, I think you'd have a lot of angry people here in Miami-Dade County. And so obviously the police and the politicians, they're probably not sure what to do. I saw a clip earlier, the local news media, that a cop was literally just waving people in, saying, yeah, come on in, protest. So I think that's why we see this still going on now several hours later. No one knows what to do to shut this thing down or not. The highway is completely shut down, obviously. You can see, though, like it's certainly... The detour traffic, I can only imagine. And this is one of the reasons I've always lived in this area. I live very central in the city. It's quite expensive. But, you know, the people who don't live central in the city, one little incident on this highway, and there's at least probably a dozen every day, will cause a major traffic jam and turn your commute into a multiple hour situation. So... anyway, whew, I'm getting all out-talked here. I was working all day, too, until this mid-afternoon on the phone all day. So I've just been, you know, I'm going to have no voice by the end of the night. I do have a new YouTube video I'm going to be putting up probably tonight. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll upload my footage from earlier that wasn't live stream when there was the traffic chaos going on out here. Maybe I'll upload that first. I'll upload the new video later in the week. Geez, I couldn't see that comment. It faded away. I'll read them all later and I'll try to reply. I think it ends up putting this live stream as a uploaded video. It does, because I watched it when I got home to charge. I started watching it just to make sure the quality wasn't too bad. Short drive from home. I'm a walking distance, Yaku. I live right behind that wall, you know, a few blocks back. So that's why I'm able to be out here. Oh, all right. This is why I stayed. SWAT vehicles. This is why I stayed. SWAT vehicles. What is going on? What is going on? This is why I stayed. They're not playing around anymore. I think this is where that anti-rioting bill is coming in. Again, not saying I agree or disagree, just telling you what I'm seeing. This is why I stayed. Well, one of those things is burning oil bad. All right, it's going to get interesting now. This is why I stayed. I was just thinking, like, I think it's time to wrap it up. The sun's setting, but now they're getting the riot trucks out here. Something is about to go down. Hopefully, God, I pray. Hopefully nothing violent. You know, I wouldn't want that to, you know, some people were commenting earlier, run them over or whatever, but again, you got to understand the emotion these people are feeling. I can only imagine, but you got to get out of the highway at this point. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. It's just my 2 cents, giving opinion where I shouldn't. But especially when the riot trucks start showing up, when the SWAT trucks start showing up, get out of the road. We don't want to see you get hurt. But like I said, even saying that, you know, makes me look at it from their perspective, the Cuban Americans, and, you know, how they've really never had the right to free speech back where they come from. You can see how a bunch of riot trucks showing up will make them think, here we go again with more government silencing and control, right? So it's really it's best to get the control before the sun goes down. Absolutely. You know, that I think I agree with that 100%. And that way I'm not out here in the dark either, because we won't be able to see anything. Hopefully they get this under control. We're at 69 minutes. Nice. Could give my right arm a rest again before I have to amputate the thing. It's got no circulation. Look at it. It's like white. I think they might start throwing tear gas soon. I hope they don't have to do that. Hopefully everybody just, you know, peacefully resolves this and goes home. Someone's coming. Okay, what do we got now? These look pretty big. No, it's just a Charger. Jeez. See, when it starts getting dark, there goes my vision. Weird how they're slowing down right here. Maybe they don't want us. If they were telling us to get off this bridge, I would be worried that there's about to be something taking place, violent. That's what I thought they might be doing. All blue lights are state troopers. Interesting observation, Chi-Town. I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe one of our, if you have any police viewers here, they'll chime in. There was no news and a peaceful resolution. Yeah, based on the way things are showing up here right now, I certainly believe that. Look at my poor dog. I'm sorry, Cooch. You bored, bud? It's like, Dad, this is boring. He really can't see anything anyway. He's like, this is boring. I want to go home. Anybody else think my voice sounds a little funny with this stream? I was getting at that before, and then the SWAT truck showed up. But I watched it. I don't know. I maybe it's just the connection or something, but it sounds a little funny. Versus when I edit the videos on the computer. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever. Just curious if anybody else noticed that. No. Okay, good. Maybe I'm wrong. Bird Row, right next to Best Buy. You're absolutely correct. I love when Dade County people jump on the stream. Oh, whoa. You notice how many sirens we got now? All right, now things are getting live over here. You hear all those sirens now? My voice is fine. Okay, maybe it was just me. I don't know. I was watching for quality when I got home, charging my phone. I thought the audio just sounded out of whack. It's getting crazy. And so besides that media copter up there, which I'm sure is getting a better view than me, but this is the only civilian perspective you're going to see of this, unless you're there. Can you see the protesters? Unfortunately, I can't because of all the cruisers. My girlfriend saw them. She drove through all that about, what is it now, 6 hours ago? And at that point, while they were blocking the road, cars were still pushing through. So she drove through it firsthand. Do you have a vest on that says press? Nope. I'm on a public bridge. Okay, we got two stadies leaving at a high rate of speed. Ooh, that scared the hell out of me. Wish I could zip tie this camera to the fence here. Very interesting what's unfolding here. So I'll say once more, I mean, we've gone down in attendees here on the stream, but I don't know if anybody new has joined. If you haven't heard already, a Cuban-American protest has shut down the Palmetto Expressway, otherwise known as 826, here in Miami-Dade County, the central artery of the city. This highway connects the city to everything, essentially. It's been several hours of it being shut down. They say they will not move until the federal government gets involved with dismantling the communist regime in Cuba. They're in a hurry. You can see things have changed over here since 20, 30 minutes ago when everything seemed casual. Something's going down. And I'm happy that I stayed because I was about to leave. I was starting to feel bad for you guys, but now we could witness something take place here. You can see off in the distance, those are all just planes coming into Miami International Airport. They must be getting a pretty good view from up there. I was actually out of town. I flew back home to Miami yesterday, so Big Al has better news coverage. Thanks, Mike. Doing the best I can. I know from, we had the condo collapse here recently in Miami-Dade. And from watching that news coverage, it's been pretty disappointing overall. A lot of private citizens have done a better job covering what's happened in there. So being that I had a good opportunity to film this because I live right there and have access to this bridge that no one else really does, I figured I might as well come up here and do my first live stream and, maybe we'll all see something interesting. And as I've said earlier, I have a lot of Miami-Dade people that follow my channel. So I know for them, I don't know why I said it like that. I know for them, this is certainly interesting. Maybe for some of you out of the city or out of state, you still find it interesting. Okay, this guy's one of the, I'm guessing one of the participants in what was going on. The underglow there. Cuban American, because it's got the American flag and the Cuban flag with a helicopter pad on top of his truck. And probably no one's noticed till now. We don't know if he was a participant, but he's coming from that era. God, I'm getting tired now. Area. With me if I start slipping up. So what do you say? I should have brought a lawn chair and some cold drinks. You weren't kidding, let me tell you. But I'm not leaving now. Another helicopter coming in. That looks like a Miami-Dade police one. Versus this one's just media up there. Definitely Miami-Dade police. See the way it's circling. I think we're going to start to see a conflict resolution. Nerf guy, appreciate that. Glad you're interested. You can see a lot of people have joined me up on the bridge here. I think they want to come see my dog. Hi. You can go see him. It's okay. He gets a little scared, though, so just watch your hand. There you go. My dog, I don't want to make any accusations, but I adopted him as a... Thank you, Vinny. Look at this guy in the bicycle. I love it. 10% battery warning, of course, as things are getting interesting. I brought my car charger if I have to run back and charge it quick, but that would really suck because I think this is starting to get to the peak. See, careful, he's a little nipper. Chihuahua in him. No, what I was saying about the dog is I adopted him when he was a puppy from a family here in Miami, and I don't want to make any accusations, but he was kind of a scaredy cat for a while, especially of hands. I don't know if they used to hit him or anything like that, so I always warn people. I mean, with me, I can go over here and I can, you know what I mean? But for a stranger, I always tell them, hey, be careful, he might nip you. Just so those of you who are wondering why I told those kids that. Plus, he's a Chihuahua. That might just be his, in his blood. But, wow, Steven, my first stream donation ever. I appreciate that. But please, no one feel the need to send me any money. I don't need it. But thank you, Steven. That's very nice of you. I'll buy myself a Wawa sandwich or something after this, so I don't have to cook dinner. But thank you. That was very thoughtful of you. My girlfriend just texted me, but I don't want to answer her back because I'm going to mess up the stream. Let me see. Do I have this thing on low oops. Orientation is locked, it says. I'll make sure I have this on. Are you a Sheetz or a Wawa fan? Wawa, because we have Wawa here in Miami. And back in the day, I used to do a lot of road trips to Pennsylvania. And I get Wawa there, too. I've never had Sheetz. And Wawa really just came to us a couple years ago. It's been like a game changer. Okay, Dimitri. Let me fill you in. See, I was afraid we'd have some new people joining the stream. So I'm here home in Miami, obviously. And since 2 o'clock today, approximately, there's been a protest that has shut down. Wow, we got more copters coming in. Now it's getting wild. My battery's low, of course. We have a protest that shut down Palmetto Expressway here in Miami, a very crucial highway in Miami. It connects the whole city to everything. Screen is black. Oh, no. Hold on. Hold on. How about now? Video is down. How about now? Shoot. See, this is why I didn't want to open any messages. Is it still not working? Back. Good. Okay. You know what? I think when I went to check my battery life, it messed it up. All right. Sorry. My battery life is low. But if it dies, my truck is right there. I'm going to run down, plug it in, just get it to like 30% or something and come back. Hoping I don't miss anything. That would be ironic. That would be my luck. Some of you know about the Big Al's luck, which is usually bad. My luck would be that something goes down right when I'm charging. Get the dog home. I'd like to, but at this point, not really an option. He's fine. I mean, you know, as long as his tail's wagging, he's doing good. He likes being with his daddy instead of being home alone. Believe me, my cats just bully him. I need to recharge and come back. Definitely some major actions to come. Yeah, I agree with you. It's one of those things, you know, when my battery hit 10% with the first stream, it lasted like 25 minutes afterwards. So I hate to leave too early to charge it. But Everybody loves saying hi to Coochie. But I agree with you. Something certainly could go down. However, once it gets dark, it's not going to be much we can see from here anyway. So my thought process is to hold out until it gets dark, go charge. If this is still ongoing, I'll come back. But at some point, I mean, I got work tomorrow. I'm not going to stand out here all night, even if I miss whatever is going to occur. I say that now, but I probably will end up staying here, knowing me. The CRV just randomly coming through here. The occasional car, it cracks me up. Like, where did they come from? If I was him and I had the whole Palmetto Expressway to myself, I would be like zigzagging and doing dumb stuff. I don't know, just to say I did it. Probably get out of the car and lay down and take a selfie or something. Yeah, just a regular motorist as far as I can tell. Occasionally one gets through. I have no idea. Could have been a protester. That's a valid point. Maybe they were parked up there with the protest. But usually when the protesters leave, I've noticed they're honking and waving and, they were acting a little too normal. So again, now, we're getting into the early evening here. People are getting home from work. The stream is going up in viewers. I want to just give a quick update. Are there any ramps between you and where the protesters are? No, not really, because the next exit is where they are. So we got a drone overhead. So just for those of you who are tuning in now, here in Miami-Dade County, we have a highway shutdown protest by Cuban Americans. They're demanding that the federal government get involved with what's going on in Cuba to help overthrow the communist regime. The highway you're looking at is 826. It is the most used, I'd say, highway in Miami-Dade County. Pretty much everybody's commute involves this highway at some point. And to see it like this is very surreal. But I've been here since this all started, and before it was just people being stuck for hours not knowing how to get off. But you can see now it's a ghost town. It's so weird to see it this way. A little bit cool, a little bit eerie. And this is a pedestrian bridge that connects my neighborhood to this neighborhood. So right now, with the way the roads are shut down, if you see someone on this bridge, they live around here. So we're getting kind of an exclusive look, besides the media up in the chopper there, of what's going on. Unfortunately, we're not closer, but this is as close as you're going to get. Well, Nerf Guy, I certainly agree with you that, communism is awful, and I hope they're able to overthrow that regime over in Cuba. It's been a long time coming. In terms of shutting down the highway here, I don't know how I feel about that. I've been saying that the whole time. I don't really want to give an opinion on that because I know my friends who are Cuban American, they are very emotional about what's going on back in their home country. And when we get emotional about things, we can end up having the feeling to do something like this, I guess you could say. So I don't think I have an opinion to make on this, because I said earlier, I would probably be out in the highway shutting everything down, protesting. So, because this isn't so emotional of a thing for me, I say, oh, geez, shutting down the highway, no good. But again, checking the media, zero coverage right now. Yeah, and again, I guess, no, I feel you, Nerf Guy, totally. You know what I mean? Like I said, I kind of have a neutral opinion on this, just checking it out from my neighborhood. But in terms of the media coverage, when I went home to charge my phone last time, because I've been out here for hours, I didn't really see that much coverage either. At least not only person live streaming. No kidding. I was hoping to get more Miami-Dade people to see this. That's why I put the, all the different tags I could in the title. Just because I want people in my city to be able to see what's going on, but I guess for the most part, it's you guys, my subscribers, which I love that. It's even better. It's personal, but certainly wish some Miami-Dade people could see this too. I know some are here. Yeah, see Just Cash here from Miami. Thanks for tuning in. Just hoping people will get a different perspective, I guess, of what's going on. I know at least with the Champlain Tower South collapse, the coverage has been pretty lame. I don't want to use the word lame. Obviously, what's happened is terrible. But, I've noticed a lot of private citizens doing a better job investigating and covering what happened than the media. St. Lucie County, what's going on, Mark? Thanks for tuning in. You just saw now a Miami-Dade County police car coming in. No lights on. Some of you remember earlier, not that long ago actually, 15 minutes ago, we had state cops come roaring in here. Maybe 20-ish minutes ago, we had 2 SWAT vehicles come in. I was about to leave, and once I saw the SWAT trucks, I knew things were going to get interesting. So hey, Fort Lauderdale, what's going on? So I just want to make a quick announcement. My battery is low. It notified me it was at 10% a good while ago. So if the stream ends, I'm going to run back to my truck at the bottom of this ramp. I've got my rapid charger, car charger. I'll plug it in for maybe 10, 15 minutes and come back up. So if you're interested in what's going on and the stream drops, just hang on. If this stream disconnects for 10, 15 minutes, I'll be back up here. Hopefully we don't miss anything, but you know, we've got other people here filming too. Unless if it's a narrative you want. Yeah, no, I mean, even local media can be pretty biased. And this is kind of an interesting, okay, we got a lot of helicopter activity now. Just be careful. He's a little bit of a nipper. I don't want your son to get bit. You're welcome. He likes to nip kids for some reason. I don't know what's up with that, but anyway, what the heck was I saying? I don't know. Just we'll kind of reset here. But sun is setting. Thank God we have good lighting out here. The mosquitoes are coming out. It's been a rainy week. I'll probably be carried away by mosquitoes by the end of the night, but whatever, I'll push through it. For those of you just tuning in, I see that we're holding steady around 50 streamer viewers here. This is coverage of the highway closing here in Miami-Dade County, Palmetto Expressway, 826, Cuban Americans shutting down the highway, demonstrating and demanding that the U.S. federal government get involved with overthrowing the communist regime back in their home country of Cuba. And this has been going on for several hours. When I got here earlier, keep a kid near you for mosquito bait. Well, Coochie, I guess you might be the bait here. And, you know, he's got all the hair on him to protect him. Although, I got quite a bit myself. But, so anyway, that's what's going on here. It's the beginning of Scarface. Yeah, you know. Scarface and that whole thing kind of never really left Miami since the 80s. But as you can see, what I was saying is earlier I got here to film all the traffic. It was first completely backed up, both lanes of traffic. And you had this lane, southbound, this side of the highway shut down entirely. And people heading northbound are being redirected down that entrance ramp there onto Bird Road. But there was one state trooper trying to direct traffic. And it wasn't working. And a lot of people didn't even see or just ignored him and kept going. And they got stuck here for hours. Can you guys hear me? My buddy, I was actually talking about earlier, Merritt. I think I lost like 12 people when that happened. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah, my buddy called me. It messed up the stream. Sorry about that. I lost like 20 people within an instant there. You can see 2 people. I'm guessing they were probably part of the protest walking back home. So I feel bad. I can't really answer my buddy right now. He asked me if I'm here on the bridge. But I wonder if I can reply to that without... Guys, what happened the last time? Did it pause the stream when I closed it? Did it pause the stream? It paused it. I might have to do it one more time, just quickly. This is like one of my best friends, and I was telling you guys earlier, he's the one that loves to come out to these kind of scenes with me, and he's asking me if I'm here. Only the video stopped. Okay, bear with me for like 10 seconds. I totally closed at that time. Okay, I'm here, sorry. Look at these 2 guys. Should I ask them how it was? They probably don't speak English, to be honest, and I'm not saying that to be like rude or anything like that. It's just the reality. You know, but they are heading back home. Okay, you guys can still hear me, right? Video is blacked out. All right, hold on. Let me try it again. How about now? Tell me if the video is working. Video working? Okay, back. Good. Sorry about that. It's weird. Like half the time I close the stream, it No? Okay. All right, let me try again. All right, tell me, is it working? God, I hope it's working now. If it's not working now, no? All right. No, you know what I might do, guys? Because my battery's low anyway, I might, since this is acting up now. Let me see, let me try reversing the camera. How about now? How about now? Briefly flashed on. No, still no? How about now? Sorry, guys, man, this sucks. Is it working now? Okay, you know what I'm gonna do, guys? Oh, geez, I wish you guys could see. There's an ambulance coming now. Let me try this again. Hang tight, hang tight. Ambulance. Anything at all? Well, besides the ambulance, there's nothing really going on, so. Flickering light. No, I'm not messing with you, I promise. I'm really bad. This is my first time streaming. Yes. Flashing lights, small flicker, just some light flashes. That's me reversing the camera. Your finger passed briefly over. Okay, guys, you know what I'm gonna do? It was just that one ambulance. I'm gonna end the stream briefly. I'm on my way to the bridge. I'm gonna end the stream briefly. While I do that, I'm gonna run back to my truck, charge it up, and I'm gonna come right back. So those of you who are interested in this, take like a quick bathroom break, grab some popcorn or something. I'll be back as soon as I can. I've got that like super fast charger in my car, so I should be able to get it charged up pretty quick. So bear with me. Yeah, go take a break. Matter of fact, I'm gonna leave it on. I know it's just audio right now, but I'm gonna leave it on until I get to my truck. And just trying to untie the dog here, just so I'm down as little as possible. Come on, damn it. Okay, here we go. I tied the dog's leash up almost too good. Oh, there goes my comment box. Where'd that go? Is there another app is taking up the camera? Maybe Messenger? Let me see. Too bad you don't have a battery pack. No kidding. Audio's live. Yeah, you know, I checked. I don't have any other apps open. I'm gonna try. You guys said it flickers when I move it to front to back. But again, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to the car. I'm gonna charge it up, come right back. So if you can't see anything, that's what's going on. Battery's too weak for the camera. You're probably right, actually. But last time it worked till it died, as far as I know. Okay, we'll wait. All right, guys. You know what? I didn't want to waste your time. I'll be back on. Give me like 10 minutes. And I'll be back on. So go take a bathroom break. I wish I could. Get a snack, whatever. It's got to be dinner time now. It's at least 8:30. Cars honking and waving. What's going on? I don't know you. I'll be back on. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Ow! Damn it, the dog's thing just ripped my finger. It's a good way to end the stream. How do I turn this thing off? I don't know how to turn it off. Damn dog's pulling me a mile a minute here. And trying to tell you guys how bad I am with technology. How the hell do I turn this thing off? Okay, here we go.